We're talking about never had a girlfriend. This is something that I recently came across. There was somebody on my YouTube feed, and essentially he posted a video about I got ghosted, and I was like, why is this guy appearing on my feed? He had some decent views, and I'm like, okay, let's go ahead and just click on his video and just see what it's about. And then I clicked on his channel just to kind of see. And one of the videos that I stumbled across was I never had a girlfriend. So essentially, I kind of wanted to cover this subject just because I figure a lot of people out there, they haven't really have the experience of having a relationship or experiencing what a girlfriend is like. And I want to give my take on it just because I understand both perspectives of going without a relationship and then also having a relationship. And the reason I say that is essentially, you guys don't know, I think this was when I was like 12 or 13. This was back in middle school. I got into my first relationship ever. That lasted about 5 years. It ended in 2018. So that was a 5-year relationship. After that, I was pretty much single for all the way up till I think like 22 or something like that. The year 22. And then I got into another relationship that didn't even last that long. It was maybe like 2-3 months, and then that ended shortly after. And then after that, I got into my current relationship, which that happened in 23, and I'm still in that current relationship. So the reason why I say I know both sides is because of that 5-year relationship. I understand what a relationship should feel like, and then I also know what the loneliness feels like as well, just because there's that 4 years that I was alone. Of course, I ended up going out on dates. I ended up meeting new girls and all that. But essentially, I understood that I felt alone. I felt isolated. Even in that second relationship, I was still with my ex at the time. And essentially, like when we were hanging out, I felt alone. I felt isolated. I felt like I didn't have anybody there. And this is something that I'm going to probably end up doing a video on, is not having friends, just because this is something that honestly people don't have that as well. But not having a girlfriend, essentially, you do feel alone, you do feel isolated, and a lot of people think that a relationship is going to solve everything. It doesn't solve all your issues. The thing that I have noticed between the 5-year relationship and my current relationship is I'm more comfortable where I'm at. Essentially, I'm more happy just in general, just from going to my day-to-day basis. I feel like I have somebody there that, like you have like that best friend that you can tell them anything in the world and they'll always be there no matter what. Like honestly, if something was to happen, like if I was to get a flat tire, honestly, there's somebody that would care and they would be willing there to go and help me. If something was to happen to me at work, there's that person that they'll show up to the hospital and just check on me, make sure I'm okay. There's times that I get sick and my girlfriend just helps me out. But I also do understand that there's the periods where you do feel alone, you do feel isolated. And I understand that it's a really awful feeling. It's like you get this little like hole in your heart and you feel alone, you feel isolated, you feel like you can't even talk to anybody, or you just like things aren't as enjoyable. You would actually enjoy it if you had some company. I'm just speaking a little bit based off of my experience, what I noticed, because I was in that 5-year relationship. We would almost do everything together, and then that ended, and I was like, whoa, there's like certain little things that I enjoyed doing. And so one of them was going to be Comic-Con. So this was back when I was really like into my nerd days. I'm gonna just put it into terms of that, just because like I still enjoy like superhero movies and all that, but like I was really like invested into like video games and all that. And after that relationship ended, like parts of things that I used to enjoy weren't as enjoyable. Like I wouldn't go out to the movies just to go watch a movie. Like now in my current relationship, I would tell my girlfriend, like, honestly, like the past 2-3 weekends, we have been watching movies and all that. But then I also remember the times that where I was alone, I'd be watching movies here at the house or binge watching TV series, just because that was something to do, kind of to make the time pass by. But the thing is, I'm going to just tell you guys based off my experience, a relationship isn't going to solve all your issues. Of course, it'll make you a little bit more happy. You feel like as if you have somebody there, somebody that actually cares, somebody that you can share this life with. And it's something that's really beautiful in its own way. but then there's also the downsides of it. You know, you'll have hardships, but that's with anything in this life. And the reason why I say it's not going to solve all your issues is just because, like, I'm still in a point where I'm not satisfied with my current situation. I'm still working a 9 to 5, and I'm like, it sucks waking up so early. Of course, that relationship isn't going to solve that issue. It's not going to solve that problem. It will solve certain little things like feeling alone, feeling isolated. The thing that you have to take into consideration is people are meant to socialize. People are meant to interact. But like today's generation of men are really struggling with dating just because like the dating scene is really messed up, in my opinion. You guys can kind of look at it. Just look at how many relationships there are in this current generation versus the older generation. I noticed that a lot of the older generations, they were in relationships, and then you go way back then, that people stuck together. You know, they didn't separate. They didn't really have, you know, these things, which of course we live in a different generation and all that, so everything's been changing. But the other thing that I've been noticing is it's not that difficult to set yourself apart from the competition. And the reason I say that is because, like, honestly, you look at some of these statistics, like on relationships, essentially, whatever it is that you're looking for, you're going to start looking at the statistics and you're going to understand that, oh, okay, essentially, if you're looking to date a woman, you need to be good looking, you need to be attractive in your lifestyle, what you do, you got to be on your purpose, you got to be on your mission. And here's the thing that also you got to take into consideration, the person that you're going to kind of date. So this is something that I noticed with myself, is that 5-year relationship, essentially, she was a little bit tomboyish. You know, she liked to do some of the hands-on work, and she was into like comics, you know, the same hobbies and activities that I find interesting and all that. And weirdly enough, my current girlfriend, you know, she likes the superhero movies just as I do. She works hands-on, and she's a little bit tomboyish. If my current girlfriend, you're watching this, I do apologize for calling you out and all that. I know you don't like when I call you out, but essentially, you know, these relationships are very similar, and this is something that you'll understand if you do end up going on dates and all that, that you'll connect better with certain people. Not everybody's going to be a match, and the thing that you have to take into consideration is that there's plenty of people out there. And I'm going to just say this just because I do apologize to my girlfriend if you are watching this, but any woman could pretty much be the one, as long as you get along with them. They do all have their ups and downs and all that. I'm just going based off of what I notice, my experience. Of course, it's just my opinion, so it's going to be different for you guys. So, you know, the vast majority of guys don't have any experience with relationships, and I'm going to just say, focus on money, focus on your body, making it as best as possible, and then focus on your purpose. Find out what it is that you want to get out of this life, because at the end of the day, this is something I've been noticing working on 9 to 5, is essentially I have less and less time. So like literally I go to work, and then after that sometimes I have class afterwards, and if it's not a day that I have class, I'm like, okay, I spend it with my girlfriend. But I haven't been working on my purpose. And honestly, my vision is to be successful, have a successful YouTube channel, and have several businesses, and then also be enjoying the world and setting up my future family for success. Of course, you know, working this 9 to 5, it's really been difficult just because I feel like, you know, I've been tired, and then after that I got class, and then I barely got time for myself, and then I want to spend some time with my girlfriend. So it's, you know, I got to rearrange my priorities. I got to start focusing on the right things. So some things are going to be changing here shortly. Luckily, summer break's going to be coming up, and it's going to be allowing me to have more time, especially for you guys here on the channel. But essentially, you know, once you start focusing on the right areas of your life, you're going to start understanding that, hey, the women are going to start attracting into your lifestyle. They're going to start coming in naturally. And then on top of that, you know, take the best quality photos if you're using online dating apps, and then understand that things take time. do not happen instantly. Like, honestly, I want to become successful like overnight on YouTube. That would be really nice. I think honestly everybody out there on YouTube wants that. But the thing I realize is you got to be consistent. You got to be constantly working at it, and it's going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight. And that's something that I'm slowly starting to learn, is that life is really slow at the beginning, but if you keep on working at it, you know, eventually it's going to compound. It's like that exponential graph. If you guys ever seen that exponential graph, it's really slow, and it starts going up, and then before you know it, it just skyrockets and it goes up super fast. Honestly, that's how life kind of is. With certain little things that I kind of notice is, like, you know, with my YouTube channel, when I was putting some content, I would get like maybe like 2 views, 8 views, and now I'm currently like, if I was to post kind of like a bad video, maybe I'd get like 20 views, 80 views, but like on a good video, I'd get probably like, you know, somewhere in the thousands, not instantly, but over time. And that's just to put something into comparison. I'm not going to talk too much here for you guys, just because I want to make it a little bit of a shorter video. I do appreciate you guys clicking back at another video. Don't forget to smash that like button, and I'll go ahead and catch you guys on the next one.